It's Blair with the Badass Records podcast, welcoming you in for a second consecutive week in which we have an episode. Shouts out to this week's guest, Ian Dobyns. Fantastic dude. Find him on Instagram via at Atlantis Morrissey, at doubledrag.wow, at theirs, at Element Recording, at squish.audio, and at Indie Drummer Collective. Sweet as heck, sharp as he can be. Great fun to chat with him. Much appreciated. Hope you guys stick around for the duration of this conversation. Episodes of the podcast air Thursdays when I have an episode to air. You can stream it where you get your podcasts and your music. You can consume it on the website, which is badassrecordpodcast.com. You can view it on YouTube, and you can keep tabs on all things Badass Records on Instagram, which is at Badass Records Podcast. That's it. That's all I got for you this week. Appreciate you stopping by. Hope you enjoy the show. Okay, so 217, it looks like, episode 217, okay. Badass Records Podcast. That's there for you to when we're done.
Cool.
Ian Dobyns, very nice to meet you. Did I pronounce it right?
You did.
Okay. Appreciate the time. Appreciate you coming over. The correspondence dance is delicate.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to be blowing you up. And, so if time passes and eventually we're talking again, it's all the same to me. Like, it's great.
Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because some people just are like, delete, and some people are like, appreciate it, but that's not for me.
It's honestly the best way to get me to like respond to something also is just like the multiple messages.
Really?
Because I always see it whenever I'm working and I'm like, I need to remember to respond. And then of course I don't.
Right.
And then,
well, you're being a responsible worker.
Yeah. Yeah. I think people appreciate when we're making records if I'm not sitting on my phone for sure.
Yeah.
But
did you guys see this?
Yeah. Check out this meme.
Great to meet you. So let's see. Atlantis _Morrissey on the gram.
Yep.
Fascinating handle. What's the story?
It is a band that never happened.
Okay.
It was just a joke kind of project between, or just like friends who wanted to play music together but didn't really need a serious outlet to do it. It was me and Matt and Sarah from the band See Through Dresses in Omaha, Nebraska.
Okay.
And a songwriter from Minneapolis named Dan Mariska.
Okay.
And I would drive to Omaha, I would get in their car, and the three of us would drive up to Minneapolis to hang out with Dan. And we only really did it one big time, but I think we walked away from that experience with like 10 things. We just kind of like sat in a room and we're just throwing stuff at the wall and just being creative.
That sounds awesome.
It was a lot of fun. This had to have been 10 years ago.
Okay. Do those things live somewhere?
No.
Okay.
Somewhere in the depths of my hard drive, it exists.
Okay.
Maybe
not dead.
Too.
Not dead.
Probably won't happen again, but I took the Instagram handle to make sure it didn't. It was at a time where everybody was trying to make kitschy band names that looked like something but are actually something else.
I mean, I have my recently retired goaltender from my hockey team.
Yeah.
He was our goaltender for years, had hip replacement. Actually, he did episode 9. Shouts out to Jason Prophet. He had hip replacement surgery and hung it up after that.
Sure.
You got to be able to push from side to side and get up.
Sit on the ice with a fake hip.
Yeah. So his email address has always been Gargoyle Debut. Gargoyle is maybe French for goaltender. I don't.
Oh, okay.
Something like that.
Yeah, like protector.
Yeah, something like that. So, I have somebody coming Tuesday. Their name's already escaping me, but their handle is like Gardoyle. Oh, it's Adam Doyle.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
So, like, I've just seen him like comment or like or whatever, blah blah blah, and I've thought it was my buddy.
You thought, oh, wow.
And so, just recently when we were drilling down all the final details,
The
I was like,
dates.
oh wow. And same with Atlantis Morrissey, because it's like you think Alanis Morissette,
Yeah.
you think the Smiths,
Yep.
and they're like mashed up together, and you're like, what? That's cute, but I don't even know why.
And it ended up being almost like a privacy thing after a while, just getting involved with enough projects and not really wanting like everybody in the world to immediately be able to find me, to there just be like a
Absolutely.
one little layer of,
Yeah.
if you search my name, I think that Atlantis Morrissey will come up, but like
'Kay.
maybe it's not obvious.
Well, because you have your name in the in the thing.
It's not a secret,
Right.
It's not hidden, and my profile's public and all of that, but it just kind of gives me
It's a totally different channel to be on, and you see,
yeah,
and you never know. But if you pause and go Google,
yeah,
you could find, but many could
yeah.
not come across.
It's just, I don't know why, feels kind of like a layer of safety. It's probably not.
Sure. That's cool. Let's see here. Mixer, producer, live studio musician. Like I said, love the handle. You've also got doubledrag.wow.
Yep.
An LP, 7 singles, and then a 2-track release with a Wham and a Prince cover.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Very cool. What? Tell me about Double Drag.
Double Drag is a project that started back in 2016. Originally started between me and Mark and Sean Pinnicher,
Okay.
who own Fountain City Guitar Works and own Syph Guitars.
Okay.
Local guitar maker, they're kind of always having this national moment. The guitars that they make are incredible.
Really?
Yeah. And Double Drag, we all sport guitars that they make.
What?
So
they make basses too?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Anything. I mean, if you can dream it, they want to help you make it into reality.
Wow.
Yeah.
I've watched one lengthy TikTok of somebody stripping down a guitar to replace they're not frets. It's the silver pieces that separate the frets.
Okay.
Like they had gotten mashed down a little bit, so.
It wasn't the frets though?
Well, what are the.
Frets are the thing on the neck, the metal pieces.
Okay. I'm thinking of frets as the spaces where you put your fingers.
No, yeah, that's the fingerboard.
Okay. So it's replaced, and it was like insanely intricate.
Yes, and they do that.
Okay. And so then I think because I watched that, it fed me a couple of making guitars, and I was like,
it's a whole thing. It's a whole process
to get to the end product where you're like, the tone of this guitar is unique. It's like, what?
Yeah,
because of the wood and the da.
There's so many factors that go into making guitars, and I kind of moonlight work there more as a helper.
Okay.
I when they're really busy, I come in and I help fret guitars or polish fingerboards or make pickup bobbins or just clean the shop.
I love it.
You know, I've luckily gotten a little busier with the studio work in the last year, but from like 2018 up until the last year, it was like every Tuesday and Friday I was in there just to have, I was trying to get out of the restaurant job. And
did you?
I did. Yeah.
Okay.
But just anything that I could do that was music related that wasn't running live sound and wasn't working at a restaurant.
Yeah. Where were you?
I was the bar manager for 4 or 5 years at El Lazzarone in the River Market.
Okay.
In the last couple of years of that, I was the general manager in addition to being the bar manager.
Wow. Which came with another salary, right? Just double salary?
Not really.
That's a joke.
But it was pandemic times,
yeah.
and we were just kind of
Skeleton
figuring
crew?
it out.
Okay.
Very appreciative of those times, but it was obviously very difficult.
Sure. So, from my very narrow lens, it appears that you drum.
I play drums.
But you can't be doing all this and not also...
I play guitar and sing in double drag.
Okay.
So,
okay.
The rule of double drag kind of has always jokingly been no frontmen allowed.
I like it.
No
kind of goes with the name.
No front people allowed.
No front people. There you go.
And Mark and I have always kind of been really all of us, McQuiston and Sean included, have always kind of been the right hand person to whoever the front was of whatever band that we played in. So
okay,
Mark and I split vocals like 50-50 all the time. We're both constantly harmonizing and just egos be damned.
Yeah.
Just try
that
to...
I cannot hear 50-50 outside of Bubba's voice from Forrest Gump. Split everything down the middle.
50-50.
That's cool. And if Double Drag wasn't a cool enough name, which, by the way, KC Shoe Metal, indie rock, post-punk, shoegaze. But then there's They're Theirs.
Yep.
THEYRETHEIRS. A little bit more mysterious in that there's an absence of description. What's the story with this outfit?
They're Theirs is kind of born from Sky Cowdery, who plays bass, and I, as a rhythm section, were the rhythm section of a band called Chase the Horsemen, which was Chase Horsemen. That was their solo project for a number of years, and there was a revolving cast of people who played in that group. But we decided kind of during the pandemic, I think it was 2022, 2021, that we wanted to get together but be more collaborative. Less of like just Chase's songs and more like we want to have a little bit more...
Keeping that name? Keeping the band name?
Well, we didn't want to keep the band name either. And that was always kind of a thing whenever we were doing it, is that we all wanted to be more involved, but we don't want it to be named after a member.
Yeah. No front person allowed.
Yeah. And that project is kind of equally interesting in that way, because Chase is a very talented singer, very talented songwriter, very front person energy.
Okay.
But as a three-piece, the theme is just like as rowdy and loud and intricate as possible. So we're both, all three of us are always doing something.
Cool.
Yeah.
Outside of the outfit.
In the outfit. Within the outfit.
Like creative wise?
Yeah.
Okay.
We're always adding something.
Nice.
Everybody's parts are not only supporting each other, but they are creating the soundscape.
I'm going to put you on the spot real quick.
Yeah.
Mount Rushmore for you of three-piece American rock outfits.
Whew. My first concert was Rush.
I mean,
so I wouldn't say that I'm a Rush super fan, but as far as three pieces go,
have you watched any clips with Annika?
I have.
Okay.
I've been impressed. I mean, you can't fill those shoes. Like, you can't fill Neil Peart's shoes.
You went Pert. A lot of people are like, it's Peart.
Oh, maybe it is.
I don't know. I don't either.
I don't get funneled into the semantics of people mispronounce my name all the time.
Sure.
That's fine.
So I think there's a lane of thought that goes into how do you fill those shoes, and then a sub lane is he had to have been like, if you guys want to keep it together, because I don't really feel like they would do it if they had any feeling.
Yeah,
do you know what I'm saying?
I'm sure that there were conversations. I mean, there's conversations that I've been involved with. None of my projects will ever. I don't think a band can be as big as a band like Rush is. That doesn't exist now. But you get involved with conversations. It's like, this is the brand. This is the culmination of thought between these people. And if one person bows out, it doesn't mean that it has to be the end of that project. And I'm sure after Neil Peart died, Alex Lifeson and Geddy Lee had to have missed playing music. They're not just going to start over fresh with a new thing after they have 20 studio albums.
You're right. But he was sick for a good little bit.
Yeah.
And I imagine, they, from my very distant lens over many years, they all seem like good dudes.
Yeah.
Like I've seen clips of Geddy on podcasts or whatever. He seems awesome. Alex, maybe a little
more reserved,
less in the limelight.
Yeah,
pun intended. And Neil has seemed cool too. So like, I would just think that he would be like, if it mattered to him, to go do something different, or please keep the spirit alive.
Yeah. Well, they're a legacy act too. Like,
what does that mean?
Legacy act meaning like they're timeless.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like they can release as many albums as they want forever, and they will still have to play those 5 albums that are timeless.
I've seen them once. They did it's not a mashup. It's a
medley.
Yes, in the middle of the second set.
Yeah,
they kind of.
Just kind of gave you a little bit of what you wanted from a bunch of songs. Yeah.
Okay, so Rush is on there.
Rush is on there. I thought that Nirvana pre-Pat Smear were a 3-piece, and that was always really cool to think about. That we think about Nirvana a lot within the context of theirs.
Okay.
Because we're a 3-piece, and because we're trying to bend the rules of that trope.
What a 3-piece is capable of?
Yeah.
Or, okay. Help me out with the Pat Smear bit. I know the name. I've read a few things here and there, but
Pat Smear is also the guitar player of Foo Fighters, and but he was brought in to Nirvana. And I'm not a Nirvana expert, so don't quote me on this. But
Bleach,
I believe that he was brought in for In Utero.
In Utero.
As the second guitar player.
Okay.
And I don't
credited on the record?
I don't know. I don't remember.
Me either. Okay.
But he, and he might not have even been on the record. He may have just been for live at that point.
Okay.
But really cool guitar player. I love a polyphony of guitars. That's why Double Drag has 3 guitars.
Okay.
But yeah, we kind of take the energy of like, yep, we're a 4 or 5-piece band, and theirs. We take the energy of being a 4 or 5-piece band and figure out how to make that happen with 3 people.
Polyphony,
yeah.
Poly.
Yep. Phany.
Wow.
Polyphony.
Okay.
It's like polyphonic.
Yeah. I'm a word nerd. I don't have the hugest archive, but I love clean verbiage and writing, and it's very seldom that somebody drops a word on me where I'm like, what was that?
Dropped.
Okay.
I use that word a lot at the studio.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Rush, Nirvana. You got 2 more.
I don't know if there's any other 3-pieces that I regularly think of.
Okay. I know that Rush, is given.
I guess Green Day was a 3-piece, right? But they have a third, second, and maybe sometimes a third guitar player live.
Okay. The reason that I asked in the first place, because the very first thing that sprung to mind in talking about this bending of the 3 is ZZ Top.
Oh yeah.
Who I don't care what you say, freaking shredded.
Incredible.
Yes.
But that's a band that like I never saw live.
Right.
I didn't really dive into like learning all about ZZ Top, and I would never guess by their albums that they're a 3-piece.
So, do you know Michael Palmacero? He's got a YouTube channel. He's a guitar dude.
Okay.
And I think he teaches on the side and blah, blah, blah. But he'll play YouTube stuff and talk about, it's the B7th to the pentatonic to all this stuff. It's like, dude, if you if you're not a player, a lot of it's going over your head. But I mean, you could still follow along. I like him a lot. He did a ZZ video recently, and right out of the gate talked about how. I mean, I've listened to ZZ Top for decades.
Yeah.
And not so much the stuff beyond like whatever the record was. 'Cause there was Eliminator in the 80s, and then Afterburner. Eliminator has the red car. Yeah. Afterburner's like spaceshipy, and then there was another one that had like Home Shelf and My Head's in Mississippi.
Yeah.
And another hit off of that track. But whatever's come out since then, I have no idea.
No, and one of the main guy's he's dead.
Right? Well, or not. Billy's still alive. Yeah. Dusty Hill, the bassist, passed.
Yes.
But they are gigging. I mean, they've...
Okay.
Anyway, the point is, he says early and often, like, and Billy is super talented, but what's really unique about Billy is that he's constantly moving.
Yeah.
And I was like, what? And I watched, and I was like, he is.
Yeah.
Because you just kind of bar chords and this and that, and then a solo, and then it's like this format, so to speak. But he really, and I didn't realize how much slide play.
Tons of slide, and he like plays his vocal, like the vocal moves, the guitar moves with the vocal all the time.
Interesting.
Yeah, that's a style of guitar playing that I would love to be better at.
Sure.
I learned the first time I ever saw somebody do that was Jared Tomasino, who's a local guy too.
Okay.
But like watching players like that do their thing, I'm like, that's an interconnectivity of your emotions and like your heart and your mind with your instrument that I'm dumbfounded by it.
You gotta go get your Zen and your ayahuasca and something to tap into that.
I'll sell my soul at the crossroads to be able to do that.
If I would probably just haphazardly throw I don't know, the Police and Genesis.
Yeah.
Just to fill the spots. Yeah. I'm sure there's somebody else.
I forget that Genesis was too.
Yeah.
That's another band, polyphony of instrumentals that you would never guess was 3 people.
Yeah. Anyway, if I think of a replacement for one or both of those artists, I'll put it in the body of the episode.
Please, yeah.
Element Recording.
Yeah.
KCK and Casey Mo?
Yeah, Joel.
Yes.
Who I think at one point you may have also messaged him.
Possibly.
Great guy. He started on the Missouri side.
Okay.
And in 2020, pre-pandemic, ? Bought a building at 5th and Orville in KCK downtown.
Yeah.
Across the street from Hillsiders.
Yes.
And
I did not realize that it was across the street from Hillsiders. That's awesome.
It's awesome. It's very incognito. But being at that corner and having, you've got Hillsiders, you've got Bright's Stein and Deli, you've got Tara Humaris, you've got the Guatemalan El Tapico mix next door, and now Beverly's at the top of the street and Easy In for food. There's just so much that you can do within walking distance of the studio.
That sounds awesome.
And I'm a big believer that like a studio needs to be completely immersive. Like you go there and you don't leave.
Okay.
Like it's all inclusive. You stay there, you're all in, or you take breaks and you don't get in your car. You don't separate yourself from the event.
You're talking about employees?
No. As an artist. Yeah. And both as an engineer too.
Okay.
I like maintain a healthy like work mentality by like once I get there, I'm not leaving. If I'm leaving, I'm walking less than 5 minutes.
Okay. I like this.
And it allows me to just I'm here.
This is my
I'll get in my vehicle and I will leave when I'm done.
Okay. So I feel like on the website, if you choose either of the locations, they both take you to KCK.
Yeah, that we only have one now.
Oh, okay.
We moved from that's whenever I got into the Element fold was in 2022. Chase, who I played in Theirs with, had COVID at the time that Joel was moving the studio, and I was just kind of a friend of the studio. And Chase was like, call Ian. He has a truck. Like, you know, I'm friend with truck.
Yeah,
And he'll help you move.
Yeah.
He loves helping people, and I do. And so yeah, they gave me, both of them had given me a call, and Joel and I are loading up all this equipment in a Penske or a U-Haul, and we're riding over there together. And I barely know Joel, but we end up in a conversation throughout the however many days it took us to move the studio. And he was like, yeah, if you ever want to run a session here, or like bring people here and do stuff, like we could figure that out. And I still worked a restaurant job. I was still at a Lazzarone at the time. Okay. And I was I just signed a record deal in a band, and we were like, the pandemic kind of mucked a bunch of that up, and it mucked up the ethics of touring a bunch. And
of course,
but I had this kind of like, luckily I had a little bit of money in my pocket. I had just bought a house. I felt very secure in my home, like being at home. I took Joel up on that offer, and for the next, it's 2026 now, so but up until August of 2025, just kind of brought stuff in whenever it made sense. If we got like a cold call to the studio that nobody else was available to do, Joel would throw it my way, and there was like a split that exists there but I would get to come in and work with somebody who I may never have been able to work with before. Or it's a podcast, or it's a audiobook, or just something. And it was just a way of making money.
Cool.
And
you had some shops in the gear lane prior to this Penske move.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. I was kind of an at-home.
Okay.
I would say I was very serious about it. I knew a lot of the terminology. I went to school for it. You don't need to go to school to be an engineer, an audio engineer. But it does help. It gives you access to things you wouldn't have access to otherwise. But yeah, I wouldn't say that I got really, really serious about it until I started at Element, and I got really serious when Joel got sick which was when we first talked, when you had first reached out to me.
Really?
Yeah. Joel went through a very sudden, very unexpected kidney failure.
Oh, shoot.
In it was July or August. I think it was August. So we're almost 1 year out from when that happened. And Chase was in the process of like moving, and they now live in New York. And Joel, anyway, the way that it ended up working out was that Joel still had a very full schedule. He can't like drop all of these projects, because not only are people counting on doing their music at the studio, but Joel needs that money to now pay for like trying to pay all these hospital bills, you know?
Yikes. And
so in August of last year, it went really fight or flight, and it was like the opportunity arose not really in the way that I would have wanted it to, but it was like, do you want to do this? Like your life depends on it. And I've been just trudging through trying to...
For a year.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's a heck of a feather in your cap.
It feels good. And he and I have developed such a close friendship.
Is he healthy?
He's getting there.
Okay.
He does dialysis. He's working on he's on the transplant list, or like will soon be on the transplant list. Once you're on, I think it takes a certain amount of time to like really solidify that in.
I have a good friend who is 2 years, maybe more, removed from his third liver transplant. And so, I mean, technically, he's carrying around...
I was going to say, they don't get rid of it.
No. They
Oh,
do.
Okay.
They do. So he had one transplant, second transplant, third, and you count the one you're born with.
Yeah.
So it's the fourth. But on this last one, the second transplant near the end of its shelf life totally zapped one of his kidneys. So he had to get both at the same time, and they don't.
They don't take it
They
out.
put it right in your hip
Yep.
socket. Anyway,
They just add a kidney.
yeah. And they gauge your health in the liver world on a MELD score.
Okay.
I don't know anything. I can't tell you anything more than that. Other
Yep.
MELD, I think is how you spell it. But I mean, you gotta be sick.
Yeah.
And I mean, he was number 2 forever. And then even when he was number 1,
Yeah.
and this was especially tricky because, like, he's in his 50s, and
Yeah.
like somebody has to sign off on, let's put 2 organs in this person
Who's had multiple fail already.
yeah. And I guess at some point in the last 10 years, like, I don't know if it's still the case, but something shifted in the donor world where they were not focused as much on keeping things locally and sending a lot of things to the East Coast. And I was like, this is crazy.
They have programs now, like take a kidney, leave a kidney kind of thing, where you don't even have to be a match. You can be like, I will donate my kidney, and because like you're gonna donate your kidney, they find a match of a similar health for the person who needs the transplant. So like, I'm 33. So if I was like, Joel, I'm donating my kidney to you, and we weren't a match blood-wise for him to receive my kidney, they would find another person of similar health and a similar age range that is a match and give him that kidney. And my kidney would sit in a chest or whatever. Like,
You'd still be down a kidney.
I'd still be down a kidney.
Even though you couldn't give it to Joel.
Even though I couldn't give it to Joel.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, so, I mean, perfect world. He returns to 100% health and then is back in the element fold in whatever version that looks like when he left. Is there room for you to?
I don't think that he and I have developed such a rapport now. After Chase moved out, we made like a conscious decision that both Studio A and Studio B need to be multi-use for both of us. So they're
in the same building.
Yeah, they're next to each other. There's 3. There's Studio A, Studio B, and Studio C.
Okay.
Studio A and B share a wall.
Okay.
The control rooms do. And it's very loosely inspired by Muscle Shoals sound.
Nice.
In that the idea was like a band comes in, they track an A, full band tracks, and then they put it on a drive, they pull the tape, they move it to Studio B, and they do their overdubs in Studio B.
Can you give me an overdub example?
You do your live tracks and your guitar solo wasn't good. You go in, you redo that guitar solo in Studio B.
I was thinking, I've said this a million times on here before, but growing up, I was very little oldies, and then eventually just a huge chunk of my life was just camped in classic rock,
Cool.
FM radio, and that's where I start building my cassette collection. And I realized I'm not the greatest, boombox with cassette. Like, bass was very hard for me to hear initially. I think that it's gotten higher in the mix over time. Technology's
allowed it to be more up front too.
But I bought an imitation Strat from the tune shop in PV and took lessons in the basement there, and really wanted to whatever. But it's like I'm listening to a Led Zeppelin record, and I'm like, I hear more than there are people, and it's like I don't understand how this. And it's like, oh, you just put that in there, like this other guitar riff.
Yeah.
Both of which are beautiful.
Yeah.
And together it's fantastic. But I go, what do you do if you go on the road? That sounds not gonna sound the same.
You either have another guitar player play it, or you imagine it.
And now somebody else is sharing the,
Yeah.
But that's what I was thinking when you said overdubs.
It's the same concept.
Okay.
Vocals,
Okay.
solos, additional lines,
Okay.
Shakers, tambourines.
A to B, and now
to B,
A is free.
And now A is free for another band to come in and track their vocals. And its previous iteration, Chase is a film score. So Studio B was like very different land of audio production from A. They could both do it, but it wasn't easy. And so the plan now is for Joel and I to be able to like tag team, walk back and forth between rooms. If he needed to do an overdub session, he would just go into B if I was working in A.
There's not a misconnection of style or approach between you and him. Like
we're very different.
Okay, but I mean, so if I'm working with him, me and my band are working with him, and then you come in, is there a hiccup? Is there an interruption?
There's not. Through him being sick, we shared some records. We don't typically share a record. So, for example, he tracks you in A, and then I've got a band who's coming into A. So he would take the band into B, and he would be the engineer in Studio B doing the overdub. So the overlap doesn't happen. And as far as gear goes,
but I mean, like if he starts off working with a band, and then you come in to work with that band,
sure,
the vision or whatever can stay pretty
consistent.
Okay.
I think at the end of the day, and I work with other engineers too. Like I'm an assistant to an engineer, who's not Joel. I'm blessed with mentors.
Cool.
That's how I like to think about it. But I know what their vision is.
Okay.
I know what they are inspired by, and I think vice versa. So if I ever had to ask Joel to do something, he'd be like this, and I'd be like, yep, like that.
Cool.
And whenever he got sick and I took over all those records, he was like, I need you to do this. Like, just think about how I would do it when you do it.
Damn. No pressure.
No pressure.
Did you get were there any artists that were like bristling at the notion that now there's a new person?
We, candidly, we snuck it on them like right before they came in out of fear that they would have canceled.
How else?
Yeah.
Otherwise, now they're thinking about it. And
now they're thinking about his kidney. They're thinking about somebody who they were looking forward to working to, like maybe not living through the process of making their record.
Yeah.
And he would still come down. Like he lives in the apartment upstairs.
Okay.
But he doesn't.
That's got to be endearing if you're the artist and you're like, oh shit.
There he is.
Good to see you.
Yeah. A lot of, and Joel was very much the, to me, from the outside perspective, being somebody who didn't work at Element, Element was such a like purveyor of sound in Kansas City, whenever I was growing up, even if it wasn't a sound that I wanted, like every band was recording at Element.
I can't tell you how many people have sat in that chair and gone, made my record at Element with Joel.
Yeah.
And I'm like, in some land, I'm like, why can I not get in touch with these people?
Yeah.
They sound amazing. I want to talk to them.
He's a really special guy, and getting him in the chair would be awesome.
That would be, yeah.
He's it's hard to get him to open up, but once he does, you're like, holy shit, man, you got a lot of
stuff.
You've seen a lot of stuff.
Nice. So you said there's a C also?
There's a C.
Okay.
Yeah, it's in the basement.
Okay.
It's more for people interested in coming up to A or B now, right? But they just like pay a fee. They rent that room. That's their space.
Oh.
Yes.
You don't get a U with the project.
No.
You're.
Studio C is like a project studio that somebody will occupy. So AJ is in there right now, who also is a drummer, and he's awesome. And he's like,
so you do get a person.
It's his room, and he does with it what he wants.
I see.
Yeah. So think
I
about it
see.
like an artist studio.
Okay.
He just happens to also be a writer and an engineer. So he sets up all of his engineering stuff in Studio C, and he has bands come down there.
Wow.
And if they need big bad drum sounds, they book out time in A, and they come and play in the big room.
Okay.
Yeah. I think that there's probably a rate change whenever he pays to occupy Studio C, but that's the idea.
So with him coming back into the fold at whatever degree he's going to, things can stay.
I think it'll be a non-issue.
Okay, cool. That sounds awesome.
And then, he would love to. He would be the first to say, "I can't wait to not deal with what I'm dealing with." But I think that he has also enjoyed taking the break.
I mean, 20 years in restaurants and now 13 selling to them. There's tons and tons and tons of training and mentality that goes into corporate America getting, And so some of it's legit. Like most of my stuff was back of the house. There's so many people out there that don't know their food costs because they don't know, either they don't know the formula, which is even for a non-math person, pretty simple. They don't have the capacity to physically take the inventory every week or every whatever it's got to be, or both.
Yeah.
So it's like, how do you know how much every time you sell Speedy Gonzales #3 off your lunch menu, how do you know what you're making off of that?
I was meaning to ask, sorry to pivot. What restaurant were you involved with?
Oh gosh. I was in Colorado for a while. Came back in 2000. I did like 8 years at McCoy's in Westport.
Our friend Emily Yeager was the beer brewer there for a while.
Okay. I left there to go. I mean, I kind of was hourly and then sous chef for a bunch of years, and then went back to hourly while I was going to grad school. And then after I graduated, I left to go chef the 75th Street Brewery.
Cool.
In Waldo, which was a very short-lived deal. That group called me back and said, "We're opening this place called The Foundry. Come be one of our chefs for that."
Oh, the Foundry there in Westport?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're the Royale with cheese guy.
The Juicy Lucy.
Yeah.
And then was married and thinking about kids and how do you do that. Got out.
It's the worst industry for having a family.
Did social work, which I mean, I was a case manager in KCK for 3 years, but like day one, they give you a ton of PTO, which is great if you are,
especially if you're trying to have a family.
Yeah. But their pay is horrible. So I, after a few years, got back in the AGM of 75th Street Brewery bought a restaurant in Lee Summit. Okay. And I left to go open that with him. It was by the community college. Next Door Pizza. It was next door to Next Door Pizza.
Okay.
And they didn't bring a whole bunch of money.
That's a really tough area to have.
Well, it was brand new at the time. It was this is like 2011. It's a brand new area.
I was going to Longview in 2011.
Okay. I used to step out back and look at the lake over our smoke breaks. And then when the funds ran out, I came back to Waldo and chefed at Lou's for a little bit. And
consistent late night food.
Yeah, absolutely. I lost my train of thought. Oh, so the food costs. Where's your profitability?
Yeah.
I can't quite get back there. We were talking about. Oh yeah. So if you open after 20 years of working for other people, Ian's Cafe.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's changed, but in the early 2000s, there was data to support that you needed somewhere in the 3 to 5 year window to start breaking even or be profitable.
Yeah. Don't expect a paycheck for 3 to 5 years.
Yeah, like you got to pay your vendors and your staff and the bank and whoever, landlord. But you survive that, and then now you're 15 years in, and you're profitable. You're paying yourself. People love your joint. They love you, but it will beat you down. So if you can, man, I think I can afford a GM now.
Yeah.
And you step out a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean,
and that's where the toxicity of some of those chef-owned restaurants or any privately owned small business restaurant ends up falling in. That's what Laz was, and Josh worked his tail end off, and then whenever he bought the restaurant and hired a GM, he got to take a break. I definitely don't blame him.
Yeah,
but it was, it's hard not having the person whose mind it was to put it all together.
I think that it's easier to keep that mind's vibe alive than it is to keep the person healthy and sane by just continuing to do it year in and year out. Like,
sure, absolutely.
At some point, you gotta go. I
gotta train ticking. Somebody to have my mind.
Yes. Heck of a reputation, even from my limited scope here, and being a non-studio / musician kind of person. And the website is so handsome.
The Element website?
Yeah.
Cool.
It just is.
we were just talking about how we really need to update it, and I'm pretty sure that we don't have the login for it.
Oh, isn't that how it goes?
Just talking about it.
Oh, that's funny. Well, I mean, I've looked at it 5 times, 6 times over the course of, 2 years.
Yeah.
And this every time I'm like, good looking website, but I'm not in it figuratively and literally like you. So I would never see what you see.
If you ever want a tour, come by.
Okay.
I'm there every day. I was there this morning. So.
Squish.audio. Is that right?
Yeah.
Still on the gram. This is
it's technically that's my business name.
Record making, production, performance, and engineer, producer, studio rat, and occasional basement dweller. Where did that come from?
Squish Audio was the name. Originally, it was the name of the basement studio that I had opened at my house that I had just bought before I helped Joel move into Element.
Okay.
So I bought my house with the purpose of putting a studio in it.
Cool.
I made it. I paid Lou at Sonic. Shoot, I don't remember the name of his company. I'll remember it later. His name's Lou Clark. He's an incredible guy, but basically he helped me design my space to sound good. Because I had gotten a quote from another studio in town that was like super expensive. Just for me to get to be there was expensive. And on top of it, the price that they gave me was the lowest they could give me, and it was for overnights. And I was like, I don't want to work overnights. Like, I'm not going to be creative.
You're talking about trying to find a space to work in outside of your home.
Yes.
And instead
I ended up building a space in my home because there was like, I wanted to be downtown. I wanted to be near stuff. I didn't want to go out to the suburbs. I didn't want to go someplace where I couldn't walk to get a drink or a snack, or I just
locked in.
Yeah. I love an immersive experience, whether it's I'm living there and I gotta make a meal if I want to eat, or there's a bunch of places right around me. I'm just gonna like walk outside and pick one.
So you have a studio built in your home
that is mostly empty.
I was gonna say, does it have cobwebs? You've taken stuff.
Yeah, I've gotten in order to build Studio B. There's been a lot of like trial and error, and Joel's funded a large portion of it, but there's some stuff that's just like, we need something in there now. We got to trial and error. We got to figure out the routing of this to make both studios run together.
I was toting my reluctantly my stand mixer to lose.
Oh God.
For project because there wasn't a mixer.
Like the Hobart.
Yeah, but mine
smaller.
here,
Like a KitchenAid. Yeah.
Precisely. For all kinds of things.
Sure.
And I just watch it shake and work, and it's sweating, and I'm at some point, and eventually I had to, which is a thing.
Yeah.
I had to replace all the gears, or I had to replace
the
grease.
Oh yeah,
the grease, which was. Imagine this half of this mic it's full of gears and grease, and that's it.
Yeah.
And you take it apart, and the grease is like loosey-goosey and darker than it should be.
Yeah.
It was a project.
Yeah.
But it's still kicking.
That's same mixer?
Yeah.
Incredible.
Yeah. I mean, I don't use it that often.
That's a good quality mixer.
Yeah, absolutely.
Especially to survive going to restaurant level of.
Yeah, and I would
work.
never leave it.
Yeah.
I'm bringing it to make the thing that I'm making back in the car home, because the minute you leave something.
You leave it there, half the parts end up in a random part of the dish pit that nobody's looked in years. Some of it ends up underneath the bar sinks.
Or just, it's going to sound so weird. Even if I was like, I trust everyone that works here to be able to whip potatoes or make a specific kind of ice cream or brownie, whatever.
Yeah.
Certain people I just don't want touching my stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
Ew, you had Ian make the brownies last night?
One, they're gonna suck, and I don't trust that this unit is clean.
Yeah, exactly. Wow. Okay, so you had gear when you were like, I'm gonna have this studio built. And then
modest gear. It was not.
There were some holes to fill.
Definitely, yeah. I mean, Joel had like a redundant. Everything about Element Studio A was very outdated.
Okay.
He was think the best of the best that you could get in 2013.
Okay.
So in 2013, that's $20,000 worth of equipment, right? And it's the best that you can get. And unfortunately, when you spend all that money, it's hard to want to do it again.
Yeah.
They stopped making it, stopped giving it the ability to update. So you're just stuck in 2013, in 2026.
Okay.
So.
But you had gear of your own for your home project.
Correct.
Did you have to, when the room is ready, did you have holes to fill where you're like, I need this and I need that?
It's a constant ongoing conversation of like, I have this, what do you think? And he's like, that's shitty, I don't want to use that. And I'm like, okay, well then we got to figure out what works with what we got to figure out what's going to work for both of us. Because I agree, but I only have a certain level of affordability. I'm just a 1099 freelance engineer coming in, but I'm all in. I want to figure it out. So how can we make it the most efficient? And we end up where we're at now, which is we figured it out. We had to replace some pretty expensive stuff. At Element.
But I'm talking about at your spot, in your home.
The converters and stuff are still down there, but
I mean, did you purchase new gear to launch this thing, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh, I'm going to Element now?
Nothing that I bought was proprietary to being at my house, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So
you're willing to take that mixer to work?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was willing to take the mixer to work.
There you go.
Some of the stuff that I had wasn't quite up to the amount, the quality that we would want at a professional commercial studio. It's just the best that I could afford whenever I was building a studio out of my house. And they worked fine for me in that purpose. They would have worked fine for me at Element, but in order to create that interconnectivity of the two rooms, they got to be on par.
Yeah.
The par is the same. It almost has to be a completely redundant situation.
Okay.
So that's what we decided to do. So we've been building out redundant rigs that are the same quality, so you can literally walk from one studio into the next and do the exact same thing.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So I mean, in your space at home, did you have what do you call the
racks?
The gray squishy foam?
I did not I yes and no.
Okay.
I built a retaining wall or a main support wall for my house in place of some beams that had been put in. And I double walled them and chambered it so sound would hit it and never come back.
You replaced beams with walls?
Yeah.
And that's structurally okay to do?
Better now.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. So the beam is still there.
Oh, okay.
But I moved the beam, and instead of having the beam, I actually we bottle jacked it up like 2 inches, built a wall with treated 2x6s, top and bottom. Just me and my friends. I was like,
that sounds crazy.
I'll buy some beer and some pizza and let's rip this place apart.
Hey, truck with a friend with truck.
Yeah. It was like, hey, do you know how to tuck point? Well, we're going to learn today.
Dude.
And but it was so we like all the bands, the double drags, and Chase already worked at Element, so we would have committed to working at Element, but double drag, and I was playing in a few other bands at the time, and that was the way that we recorded, was at my house. So the only way for us to continue to be creative.
So it got some use.
It did, yeah.
But now
up until like a month ago,
and now it's just a purposeless room that
Kinda.
nobody hangs out in
for now.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you gotta
So
get in there and give it its feng shui.
It's a
or
really
whatever.
nice storage room.
That's okay. That happens, I guess. So that's Squish Audio.
That's Squish Audio.
Okay. And then Indie Drummer Collective. I had Gherkin on, Jason Gherkin, way back in the day.
Great guy.
McCoy's
Good friend.
buddy. I think he did a Def Leppard one of those.
We both did.
You both did?
Yeah.
You were on the same. Is Indie Drummer Collective? It's a bunch of projects.
Yeah. So Indie Drummer Collective, without bastardizing the story entirely, was is primarily led by Aaron Tate, who is an incredible drummer, and by complete happenstance, one of the people who like got me into playing drums to begin with.
Indie Drummer Collective was born and raised here in Kansas City?
I think Aaron's from Seattle, Washington.
Okay.
But I don't know if that's originally where he's from, but basically, so imagine a lot of drummers. We're talking like more like 50.
Mm-hmm.
50 different drummers of all different skill levels and all different notorieties all around the country who all drum. And they're adding people, and people leave. It's like a coming and going kind of situation. But the idea is that it's people who believe, like, just want a chance to like drum and get together and do something for a cause. So we do basically, it's drum covers for charity.
Cool.
But you get to see Jason Gherkin play a Def Leppard song, and when you watch it, it creates some kind of revenue. Probably, not as much as it probably should, but
So the whole thing essentially lives online?
Yep.
Okay.
Exclusively.
Okay. He had a track off of Hysteria.
Yeah.
You did too?
Yep.
What was yours?
I didn't. Well, they did actually. I'll backtrack. They did a Def Leppard tribute where they all played Def Leppard.
Yes.
I played Love Bites, but our theme was songs with cowbell,
Okay.
and that's the song I chose.
Okay.
Because it has cowbell.
Yeah.
And it was fun I decided to drum with 2 hands, but it was fun.
Gherkin did not?
I don't remember.
Okay.
He probably not. He's so much better than I am. But no, it was like I can't imagine that Rick. Can't remember Rick's
Allen or
Rick
Savage.
Allen. Rick
Okay.
Allen.
Yeah.
I can't imagine that he's not playing something with his feet that I don't have access to. So I was like, oh, if he's gonna do that with his foot, I'm just gonna do it with my left hand.
No, he made that kit.
Yeah.
With like
It's
2
yeah.
bass. Full, I don't know what you call them. The big ones.
Yeah. The kick drum.
Yes.
His situation is wild, and I don't have access to that. There's an obvious learning curve that I'm totally incapable of doing right now. But yeah, at the time I was just like, I'll just kind of focus my efforts in on doing this thing that he's probably doing with his left foot. I'm gonna do it with my left hand.
Yeah. Yeah. I freaking love. I mean, I don't love every track on that record.
On Hysteria,
but the title track and Animal, and there's some real Love Bites. I mean, there's some bangers.
Absolutely.
And then I was kind of like, okay, but Pour Some Sugar on Me was part of that record, I believe.
Yeah.
And then the next record had a real cringy, huge hit.
Oh yeah.
With like the animated music video.
Oh, I don't even remember what. I wish that I was a big enough super fan of Def Leppard to remember all their album names.
You got High and Dry, On Through the Night. I think there was a third one before Pyromania.
Then there was Pyromania.
And Pyromania, Hysteria.
Pyromania and Hysteria were done by Mutt Lange.
Yep.
And but the quality difference, I think about records and like that. I think that Hysteria was such a huge sonic change in music. Like he made something that sounded 3-dimensional and larger than life.
And just that opening riff to Animal.
Yeah.
Just the tone. It's like far away, but right there.
Yeah.
And then,
that's why I engineer like records like that. Things that like changed how I perceive music, or like things that feel the all encompassing.
Yeah. Man. So, not a whole heck of a lot happening post-wise on your personal Instagram, but there is a really cool photo of a crashed car for Lavish Band. Are you a guy with discipline and moderation and self-control when it comes to social media?
Yeah.
Okay.
Almost, probably to a fault.
Like, you can, like, set the phone down and live life and not every...
Yeah.
Kudos.
Yeah, my to a detriment, my communication is pretty rough.
I would never know.
Yeah, well,
I mean,
it's I lose track of things pretty quickly if I'm not consistent with it.
Are you a person, if I like illuminated your home screen, I would see 397 unread text messages?
Probably not that many, but yeah, over 100.
What?
Yeah. It's
wow.
And it just happens. Like at one point I had 0, like pretty recently, and just like a group chat pops off, and all of a sudden you got 50, and I'm like, shit.
Fair.
So
now, when you commit to getting that down to 0, do you go and read all the group chat, or you're like, I just can't?
No, I just click it and I get out of it.
Okay, fair.
If I was needed in it, somebody would have brought it up.
Okay.
They would have blown me up about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It didn't pertain to me, so it's none of my business.
You don't. It doesn't trouble you to not know what you didn't read.
I love letting people live their lives.
Okay. That's awesome. Are you born and raised here?
I am.
Okay.
I'm from Lee Summit.
Okay. You went to going to Longview.
Yeah.
Do you have siblings?
I do. I have I have 2 half sisters that are older than me, and 2 half sisters that are younger than me, rather, and 2 stepsisters who are older than me.
Okay. Do you happen to have any idea how mom and dad's paths crossed initially?
I don't know how my mom and my dad's paths crossed. I'm sure they've told me, and I just don't even... It doesn't even register.
Yeah.
There are 2 people that should probably never have gotten together.
Understood.
Obviously, happy that... I mean, I'm here.
Yeah.
So that's cool.
Yeah.
But, very different walks of life, very different ideals, They're both good people. They're both
cool.
They're both after similar things, just very different ways of getting there.
Okay. In the home that you're being, or homes that you're being raised in, are the caregivers, the adults, the moms and dads, putting on music to listen to? So
yeah, my dad is kind of a music head. I'll talk about my dad before I talk about my mom, because I'll talk a lot more about her.
Okay.
But my dad drives for a living. He's got
Over the road trucker?
Not a trucker, but like his job is to travel. He works for a company that inspects and treats ground line utility poles.
Oh, wow.
So all these power lines that run miles and miles and miles and miles, that is his company oversees that and makes sure that poles are in good shape. And if they're not, they either tag them to be replaced, or they tag them saying like, this is good, or we treated it for termites, or whatever.
What a trip.
Yeah.
Are those things going to be obsolete at some point if we don't destroy the planet before?
I hope so. I mean, he'll retire soon. Thankful that he had a run with a company that he's able to do that with. But I know that like it's not dying. There's that power is still running, but like
it's just crazy to me that we traversed the nation with these poles.
Yeah, they're
for
everywhere.
Power, and obviously we need different sorts of power, but a lot of it was for landlines.
Yeah.
And now,
like, even it's funny that there's a pole right outside my house, like that I park by, if I don't park in my driveway, that has the company's called Osmos, and there's an Osmos tag on the pole right outside my house.
Wow.
Yeah. From 2014 or before 2020, but not far before.
Okay.
But
so he drives.
His truck has like 880,000 miles on it. Seriously.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Wow. What is it?
It's a 2002 Ford F-150.
He hasn't had to like replace the transmission or anything wild like that.
He's had to replace it, but nothing that's reset his odometer.
Huh.
Yeah.
I guess there are replacement projects where it would
I would imagine it would reset at some point, right? But yeah, he's just been driving this truck. He's trying to drive it over 1 million miles,
Wow.
And, but yeah, I remember being in the car with him. Parents were split up. So for an hour, 2 times a week, I would drive from wherever he was living to wherever my mom was living. And he would listen to talk radio, but he had 2 CDs in his car, and it was Guns N' Roses Greatest Hits and a band called Jason and the Scorchers, and we just listened to those on repeat.
Okay.
Or we would listen to talk radio.
Okay.
And
what about in his home?
I don't recall a lot of listening to music at my dad's house.
Okay.
We watched a lot of fishing shows.
Interesting.
He's a real outdoorsy kind of guy.
Okay.
Likes music, cares about music, but it's not his passion.
Okay.
Mom, on the other hand, in another life, she'd be a disc jockey. Like, her favorite band is The Cure and Matthew Sweet, and
wow,
she's got this she's great as far as music goes. Her dad is a harmonica player. We are not connected at this time, but he when I decided I wanted to do music, she was like, no, don't do it, because he had made a run for doing music for a living, and didn't go so well, and he refused to give it up, kind of situation. But
sort of Coco adjacent.
Yeah.
Have you seen this movie?
No.
You've never seen Coco? The animated? Oh.
I should.
Oh.
I'm probably missing out.
It's magnificent. It is so great. I'm a big Moana fan.
Sure.
Whatever. Music is...
Is Coco the jazz movie?
No.
No,
it's like the Hispanic Dia de los Muertos.
Oh.
And music in this... there's multi-generations in this home, in this family, and it has become splintered at one point, and music bears the blame blunt,
Interesting.
And so now we have this young kid who just, music is my life, and the great-grandma was like, absolutely not.
Yeah, don't do it.
Fantastic movie.
Okay, I'll have to check it out.
Yeah.
Coco. Anyway, not super supportive of me doing music originally. It took doing some pretty big things for her to be like, you're kind of good at this. I was like, thanks.
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah.
But she and I are very close. She has great music taste. Was always very challenging. She would show me bands before I was into music. I was very much in the classic rock zone.
Sure.
Just playing. She wouldn't let me play drums originally, which I end up. That's what I communicate best with as a
because she
musician.
didn't want a kit in the house.
Probably. I ended up with a guitar and an amp, and I would just sit with a boombox and just like run like cassette tapes or CDs or whatever I had of Aerosmith and Def Leppard. And
You had a 6-string before you had a kit.
I did.
Okay.
I didn't stop. I stopped playing. I always thought with drums.
Nice.
One of the band members of Lavish and I started a band when we were kids. I was a junior in high school, and he and I were both playing guitar. His name's Zach Hames. He's an engineer in town. Probably somebody you should write down.
Okay. Thank you.
He's so incredibly talented at playing the guitar, and we were playing guitar together. Couldn't really find a drummer. I'm so incredibly picky about drums. Whenever I was playing with other people, I was like, I'm just going to learn how to play drums. And so he and I played for the next, 9 years, and I didn't even touch a guitar.
Wow.
I just played drums.
Okay.
And that's how I learned to play drums.
Nice.
Was just having somebody who was good enough at guitar that I could play along, and it wouldn't deviate them. If I messed up, it wouldn't stop them from playing.
Sure.
And it would allow me to get back on track.
Nice. So you've got these 2 CDs in Dad's car and this variety of stuff that Mom's listening to and turning you on to as a young person.
Yes.
Down here as an adult, you shared a list with me
Oh, yeah.
of albums, but I don't want to get to it just yet. What I'm interested in is, for me, my dad had same, just, great folks, whatever. I don't, anyway.
How they ended up crossing paths.
Well, no, it was like high school, and they were, I think, out on dates with somebody else and swapped.
Oh, interesting.
And like had a relationship. Like my mom's family loved my dad.
Yeah.
But they, however long the honeymoon phase lasted in their youth, they just kept
Trying.
being together through college and then kids, and that after kids they were like, fuck this.
Yeah.
But so when I'm with him, he's got a mini briefcase full of 8 tracks with like Oak Ridge Boys and John Denver and like like a Sesame Street and a Muppets, blah, blah, blah. But my mom were listening to AM oldies all the time, 71 WHB in the car. And then eventually we kind of become a 101 The Fox house with this many records. And so that's my knowledge of music in the universe. And at some point, you meet a buddy that listens to records or has an older brother with tapes or whatever, or you wind up at the music store or whatever the case may be, and you discover shit that's not from your world.
Yeah.
Not on your list. Is there an album that you discover or buy or?
I remember the turning point. For me.
Yeah.
I was already playing guitar, super into classic rock.
Okay.
She has a huge collection of CDs and tapes and a boombox that was just ready for me to sit down there and just obsess. Or like she had one of those like old, they connected together like Iowa stereos. Yeah. So I was just listening to whatever CDs she had, right? And she had everything from John Denver and Elvis and Elvis Costello up through like doing she had like Weezer Blue Album and Catherine Wheel, and
you weren't kidding about the DJ thing in another life.
She could have done, anyway, so much music. And I didn't really get into the newer stuff quite yet. I was very much into like the guitar worship bands, right? the great guitar players, and learning how to play guitar like the great guitar players. And I remember she picked me up from elementary school and she was like, "Hey, listen to this song. I just discovered this new band. I've never heard of them before. They're called Death Cab for Cutie."
Oh boy.
And it was Plan's era.
Okay.
And it was Crooked Teeth that was on the radio at the time, which is not the main.
Death Cab was on the radio?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
This was their first like big radio debut. It wasn't the radio single, which was Soul Meets Body and I Will Follow You Into the Dark. Crooked Teeth was on there, but this was an interesting day, I remember, because both of these bands were introduced to me in the same drive home from school. And it was Death Cab, Crooked Teeth, and the Shins. And it was Phantom Limb was the single. And she was like, "The Shins are really cool. They remind me of like a modern day Beach Boys with like all these harmonies and the it's like male vocals, but they're higher." And then that turned into her showing me Band of Horses.
Oh,
and
wow.
like, anyway, that was like this tipping point of, oh shit, I like music now too. I don't just like Jimmy Page and,
Yeah.
Steve Vai and Eric Clapton and all. Like, I wasn't just looking at guitar players anymore. I was like, how are they making, these are really easy songs in theory. And I would like play them and I'm like, yeah, but it's a feel thing. It feels different. The whole feel is different. How do I feel?
Yeah.
And that was the tipping point into me finding, 30 Seconds to Mars, and then I got into Good Charlotte, and then that Third Eye Blind, and we get into the records and I know through email correspondence whenever we were talking, I was like, it's a time capsule. Like
that's
the Shins and Death Cab exist in that car ride home in a way that no other. And I remember everything that happened then.
Wow.
And then there's phases.
I love it when it's a time capsule. I also love it when it's not.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because it's like, if it's important, if it has been important to you or is important to you still, that's what I'm here for, man. Like, give it to me.
It's like seemingly meaningless life experiences around them. Just a car ride home from school.
But you remember everything.
But I remember how that song made me feel, which was rare. That was like, oh my God, this is making me feel something. I want to feel that all the time. How can I find more of that?
Cool.
Yeah.
First or early concert memory?
Rush was my first big concert.
Right.
My first local concert was they were, I think, a Christian rock band called Our Last Chance, who had a vocalist that was related to a friend of mine. And so we all went and saw this show at Main Street Cafe.
Okay.
And seeing people that were like, they were older than me, but they were still like peers. It wasn't Alex Lifeson and Geddy Lee on stage.
Do you remember the year and the venue of that Rush show?
It was the Snakes and Arrows tour at Sandstone.
Snakes and Arrows. What year would that have been?
It would have been maybe 2006.
Wow.
Yeah.
I saw them for the Roll the Bones tour in '92.
Way cooler. That was when I was born. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
At Kemper, I think. I think it was
super
Kemper.
cool.
Yeah.
Cooler record too.
Well,
Snakes and Arrows was cool, but like, again, legacy band. I wanted to see Spirit of the Radio.
I could only tell you that Roll the Bones and Ghosts of a Chance were on the radio.
Yeah.
I got goosebumps. It was a new record, and they're in touring in support of the new record, which is amazing.
Yeah.
By Snakes and Arrows or Arrows?
Arrows.
By Snakes and Arrows, I was long gone from that.
Yeah.
Which is not, it's not a diss. I just I was somewhere else.
But it doesn't, and to your point, you still remember the 92 show.
I think I remember the flannel that I wore to that show, and I might have had on like high top Chucks,
Legacy bands.
Dude. Anyway, so your arc as a musicianship begins with guitar.
Yep.
But only because somebody wouldn't open the door for it to start with drums.
Yep.
Okay. But eventually drums were like, move over, Bacon.
Yeah.
But you still...
I I've now watched. Dave Grohl kind of says it really well too, and I'm not like a Dave Grohl head.
Okay.
Despite the way that I play drums, people tell me I Grohl a lot. But he talks about it in that like he plays guitar like it's a drum kit. So like the big kick drums and the snares are all like your lower strings, and your higher strings are your cymbals and your fills.
Yeah.
So he that's credit to him for saying that is definitely how I feel about drums and guitar.
I've never heard Grohl used as a verb, and I love it.
It's yeah. But so yeah, the guitar helped me have a mind for what I wanted to hear out of drums.
Cool. I really appreciate the correspondence and the time today that you've shared with me. If it's okay, I'll just roll through your list chronologically in release order. It's an interesting thing to get somebody's list.
Yeah.
There are more than a handful of times where I'm like, what?
Yeah.
I can't tell who the artist and the album, I don't know. This is just words.
Yeah.
And there's sometimes where I'm like, I know all of those records like the back of my head. I don't even need to listen to them.
I knew at least two of those probably.
Well, and then there's some, anyway, it's always a treat. Some lists are harder to get through than others just because of my own. I want to be open to everything, but some stuff I'm just like, fuck.
This is brutal.
So I saw Rush as a junior, graduate in 93, finished college, and I took a year off in college in 98. In my college run, I had a radio show for 3 years.
Oh, cool.
3 hours weekly, free form.
Okay.
You got to follow the FCC stuff, and you got to play 10 new tracks an episode. Because everybody's...
So you were discovering new shit all the time.
All the time.
That's awesome.
And then I leave that life in 2000, and it's like the plug was pulled.
Yeah.
Like I knew, I had. It's a good thing to get a little ego check there.
Yeah.
But immediately now I'm back in the city and I'm doing 70 hours a week in a kitchen, and I'm just hearing what's on the restaurant, what's on in the kitchen, what's on in my car. I did buy, and I still have it on the other side of that wall, my first stereo. I went to Radio Shack and bought
Hell yeah.
2 speakers with a 5-disc changer, a dual cassette, turntable.
Yeah.
That I was like, I'm an adult now. But there's this swath of, I don't know, maybe it still exists. Probably still exists. But at least in the early 2000s, like a lot of stuff hadn't come along yet, so it was still radio driven.
Yeah.
But a lot of the rock bands in that window just kind of melded together in my mind. Like I know a lot of songs, I know a lot of names, but if you made me do a puzzle of drag this song to the artist, I would fail.
Sure.
So I get your list and I'm like, Third Eye Blind. Okay, whatever. I loved this record.
It's so good.
So I was like, what? Like track 1, I was like,
Losing a Whole
what
Year.
are we doing?
I stand. It is the best intro to an album, short of Alan Parsons' Project, Eye in the Sky. You know what I mean? Sirius into Eye in the Sky. Like,
so this self-titled from '97, 14 tracks, 57 minutes, first of 7, a San Francisco rock outfit, and a podcast first for both artist and album. This is, one of the stool legs of why I do this is to sort of shed whatever very limited amount of snobbiness that I can shed
it
and take other people's stuff in, right?
Yeah.
So there's the whole radio show in that time and not really have any reference for what's what, because it's like, especially in the dining room or the restaurant, There was such a rotation. It's not a radio station. It's a satellite.
Yeah.
Something or other.
It just does
so it's
this
big. So you don't
insane-
get the hey, it's Ian Dobyns with
Yeah.
But I mean, I heard like Pave Paradise to put a parking lot so many times it like angered. I was like, this song's.
Is that Uncle Cracker?
I thought it was Counting Crows.
That's probably Counting Crows.
Anyway. Third Eye Blind is in that.
That era of music
where it's like I can't actually tell you anything true about Third Eye Blind, but old guy goes, they're not making any good things today.
Yeah.
So I put this on. I hear Semi Charmed Life and Jumper, and I'm like, I know that shit.
Yeah,
I know
yeah.
that shit real well.
Yeah. That's a time cap. Those are time capsule
yes,
songs for sure.
didn't know that those were them.
Oh yeah.
It just sort of existed in that blob. I just could gush about it. Like, I mean, it's not a short record.
No.
And not every track is phenomenal, but there's a lot of really strong tracks, and even the tracks that aren't quite as strong, like they cared.
They're gut wrenching.
Yeah.
It was very emotional record while still being melancholy in sound.
So, how does it enter your life, and are you impressed on first listen?
Well, okay, so like I think like most people, I definitely didn't start out being like a Third Eye Blind super fan,
Right.
But Semi Charmed Life was always on. My mom and I would sing it in the car, which is funny because it's totally about drugs and sex.
Yeah.
But
I'm
it is what it is.
silently. I want to give shouts out to your mom because she sounds rad. But the last time I did that,
Yeah.
God damn it.
Well, she's great.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's wonderful. And but I would say honestly the tipping point was probably Mark and Sean from the guitar shop who I play in a band with, and we're very, very close friends. Shout out to them also. It's their birthday tomorrow.
Nice. They're the ones that make the
guitars.
specific. What was it called? Scythe. Okay.
But I can't remember which one of them it was, but they're like, dude, you got to listen to Losing a Whole Year. You're like missing out on, you're missing out on the good parts
track,
of that
right?
record. Yeah. And like, I'll tell you what, the second that we put it on, I think it might've been Sean, and I think it was in his car, and we turned it on, and it was like immediate, like chills up my arm, just the kind of weird fade in, and then the big downbeat. I was like, holy shit, this is, and it's that, maybe it's being in a car, because it was also on my way home from school. But whenever I discovered Death Cab and the Shins. But I immediately like snapshot in my mind. I was like, this is going to change my life.
Damn.
Yeah. And so from there on, I just started obsessively like picking these songs apart. I care about engineering. I found out Eric Valentine's the engineer of it. Eric Valentine has deconstructing of that record and like tons of interviews about this specific record online. Now I'm obsessively listening to Eric Valentine talk about this record. So it's like super influential in multiple facets of my life.
The rabbit hole can be so good.
Yes. And I haven't even touched the bottom of it. Like,
yeah. And that's great. There's
Yeah.
always more. There's still more. There's more.
So really incredible band. I'm not a huge fan of all of their records.
Sure.
This record and the one after, Blue, I think is what it's called. So there's a blue cover. But
Weezer's like, hey.
yeah. But both those records are good.
Okay.
After that,
Okay.
they have songs that are cool, but no records that I'm like, yeah.
So it took being in a relationship over some time with a gal in St. Louis for me to realize this. But we would meet in Columbia a lot and go out to eat, spend Saturday night together. 2 hours is a really great amount of windshield time.
It's 2.5 records.
Or a podcast episode, or whatever the case may be. And it is the car is important because it's a forced concentration. You are responsible for your safety and the safety of everybody else out there.
Especially from Columbia to Kansas City.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Just I-70
Yep.
straight ahead.
But there's a valve open where whatever you put on gets in there.
Yeah.
And you develop a relationship with it. And I think that it's beautiful and archaic, because if you think about that day in the car with your mom and Death Cab and the Shins,
Yeah.
it's pre-smartphone.
Yeah. And
Like the level of distractions that exist on the planet, even if you're a guy that doesn't even today do a lot of social media stuff,
yeah.
it's there. It's there
always
all the
chiming
time.
off.
And so,
and you got to think about what you like when on the rare occasion that I post, I do think about who's seeing it. Like I'm like, hopefully some folks are enjoying this.
Yeah.
You know, at least doing that.
yeah.
So
But I mean, like when I write, I mean, I wish I had a typewriter. Now, if I was working on this piece last week, where talking about my kids, they're actually leaving tomorrow for camp for a week, but they just came home from a week's vacation with their mom.
okay.
So even though I only have them 4 nights a week, when they're gone for 7,
You're lonely.
gets pretty quiet.
Yeah, yeah.
And so I was reflecting back to when my daughter was born, and what the 4 or the 5 S's were.
Okay.
Which is like swaddle and swing and shush.
Oh, yeah.
And so I was Google, bam, there they are.
5 S's.
Right back into my piece.
Yeah.
Glorious. But I can also, I wonder what Ian's doing on Instagram.
Yeah,
It's like, next thing I know, I haven't been writing for 20 minutes because
you've lost 20 minutes of your day, and then you end up working late into the night.
Yeah.
And people are like, whoever you're seeing at the time, you're like, every once in a while, my girlfriend will shoot me a text and be like, hey, what time are you coming home? And I'm like, as soon as I finish this. And that's like usually whenever I lock way back in after whatever rabbit hole I've gone down.
Yeah.
Not always social media, but
So to the point being, yes, I think you're right. It maybe it is the car, but it's also, I mean, I can still open that valve and let the music in, and I do, but it's a different world because the distractions are there, and also everybody else, I feel like, especially since COVID, like we've really splintered into this either super aggressive brand of driving or completely distracted, not paying attention brand of driving.
yeah,
And it's sketchy.
very.
And so if you get into an emotional lane of anger or you're tense or whatever, then it affects
all
what's
of it.
coming into the valve musically. And
Yeah.
I don't, sometimes I'm like off,
Yeah.
music off. This album this track does not deserve
Whatever anger I'm feeling right now.
Yeah.
I don't want to associate it with these bad feelings.
Yeah, man. I mean, props to the whole record, but that opening track left a hole for the rest of the record. It's like that I was trying to close.
Yeah.
Quiet and shush,
Yeah.
the 5 S's. To be like, no, give tracks 2 through 14, whatever the equal. But it was like a corner of my brain was pining for that.
For the first track.
Yeah.
I feel like you don't get the feeling of losing a whole year almost until you get to Graduate.
Okay.
And that big first hit, Can I Graduate, is it's aggressive and it's big, but in a different way than the first track is, and I feel like you really miss it until then, which is funny because whenever you think about the radio hits, both Jumper and Semi-Charmed Life happened before. They happened in between those two songs.
Yeah.
And those are the easy palette songs.
Yeah.
that
Those are
end up
great.
on the radio.
I got no beef with either of those hits either. They're great songs.
But you don't realize that they almost feel insignificant after you start the record from the beginning.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? Such a huge, it's on record. It is my goal in life to write a intro to an album as good as that song.
I respect that and appreciate it. I also think it's a very slippery spot on a record because is 2 through 10 gonna be compared, or would this, as good as this is and its screaming opener, what if it's a 7?
Yeah.
Or a closer?
That's kind of what whenever I think about arranging records when I'm working with an artist, or whenever, Double Drag or Lavish or there's a writing a record. That's what I'm always thinking about.
Yeah.
I'm like, how do we hook people? How am I going to hook somebody to listening to all of these songs?
Yeah.
I need it to be good, but it can't be the best one.
Which is one of the other leg stools of why I do this. It's the love for the album, and especially not just the 70s, like if there's, 44, well-known double albums in the vault of rock or classic rock, like 38 of them came out in the 70s, because dudes were flying to cities to go see shows, to find a band, to sign to a label, to pony up some money. So they go in there, make a record, they come out, here's our record, world, hope you like it. And it's the fights that happened while you're in the studio, and the choosing of the cover art, and the how many tracks, and what's the sequence going to be, how long, what's the runtime.
We're going through that right now. Right.
What?
Double Drag record 2 is in mastering.
Okay.
We're doing the album artwork right now, so we're remembering everything that happened for the last year.
Yeah, and I've said this a million times on here. Like, as soon as I had income, I'm on my bike to the record store to buy tapes.
Yeah.
Long time holdout. Eventually started buying CDs. Today's, I buy a little bit of vinyl.
Sure.
But I would get home and shut my door and
just get lost.
And looking at this, and I always was like, what is this little paragraph near the bottom on the back with mixer and engineer and producer and all? Who is this for? That's garbage. And I got lyrics, I got band names and what they play and who wrote each song, and here's a 6-paragraph goofy story that the bassist typed up, and now, all these years later,
you're looking at that paragraph and you're like, oh, it turns out I really like Terry Date or whatever.
That's the first place. So huge Fish fan, seen him a bunch. They put out a record called Big Boat in 2016, and there's a track on it called Wingsuit, and it's kind of slow and wandering, and then Trey starts to solo, and all of a sudden he's in this I'm like Leonardo DiCaprio in the have you seen Once Upon a Time in Hollywood?
Oh yeah,
where he's on the couch with the beer and the cigarette. I was like, what is that? And so I go, God, it's gonna kill me to not have his name right off the top of my head. Bob Ezrin,
guitar player for Fish.
Yeah, Trey Anastasio is a guitar player for Fish. Bob Ezrin produced this record, and I'm like, what is the connection? And I finally realized is that Bob Ezrin made a bunch of Pink Floyd records. Mm-hmm. And what I'm hearing in Wingsuit is like super akin to where David Gilmour goes in Hey You.
Oh, interesting.
And I was like, whoa, like
that's a cool connection.
It's crazy. And it's, really, it kind of unlocked some kind of hearing ability for me to like, okay, there's a little bit of that guy's flair and style and whatever in this record, and
I wonder what else he's done.
No, but I go listen to something else and I'm like, it's here too. It's a different texture.
It's not just Pink Floyd, or it's not just Fish. It's also this person that they trust to create the sonic landscape that is their art.
Yeah. I'm trying to stay DeSoto.
Sorry, No, you're good. I don't even know what time it is. We're good.
Okay. 3-year leap to 2000. Machina, The Machines of God.
Oh, yeah.
Smashing Pumpkins, 5 of 13, 15 tracks, 73 minutes, alternative rock out of Chicago. I know Gish. Siamese Dream has made a bunch of lists. Melancholy has made one. Those are the only Pumpkins records to appear on this podcast. I maybe my eyeballs have landed on the title of this record 2 or 3 times in passing randomly.
Sure.
So I had no...
Interesting record.
For sure.
A departure, even.
Yeah, and it's like, when I'm looking up just a little bit about the record, if some tidbits get in, great. I don't want to sidetrack too long. But it did seem like the idea of disappointing their fan base again was a phrase. Like, because how does the saying go? I think it came up a bunch of times with Live, the band Live.
Oh, yeah.
Like Mental Jewelry and Throwing Copper. Like, people are, I might get this backwards. Sales for Throwing Copper were insane because people love Mental Jewelry.
Yeah.
So people are like, oh, and they buy it, and then they're like, what?
It was recorded all live at Pachyderm in Cannon Falls, Minnesota.
Okay.
There's just tracked all of our record there.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Fun.
Yeah.
But that phrase, disappointed their audience, it's like such a funny notion to think about, and especially to write and post somewhere on the internet, because for my money, I don't want my favorite band to make the same record every time they make a record. Like, make something new.
Yeah.
Ezra Pound, that was his phrase, make it new,
Yeah.
So Siamese Dream makes all the sense in the world. Gish makes a lot of sense.
Gish is like almost psychedelic.
Yeah.
It's heavy guitars, but it's psychedelic.
Yeah. But, by the time this comes out, I've drifted so far. Like I said, man, saw Rush in 92, graduated
in this orbit.
No, but when all of that shit popped off, Pearl Jam 10, Nirvana Nevermind, Soundgarden, all this shit it was like, embrace it all, because it was all amazing.
Yeah.
But I was somewhere else when this album comes out. It lands in your lap because
Stand Inside Your Love was the song that landed in my lap. And it's like, if I'm digesting a record and I hear one song, even if it's not the first song, I'll like listen to that record and I'll slowly get to the point that I'm playing the songs after it. 2 or 3 songs after it. I'll check out the song before. And I gotta like really get my feet wet with the sonic palette of the record.
Consuming records a track at a time, not in order, not top to back.
I eventually will. But usually it's whatever I hear the first time that I'm like, this is what I associate with this record. And then I had to get into I Have Morning's Cool. It's a long record.
Yes.
I think I was able to listen to the first time that I gave more than one track of this record a listen. I listened from Stand Inside Your Love all the way through Heavy Metal Machine before my car ride ended or whatever I was doing.
Yeah.
But it's funny because Stand Inside Your Love was such a pinnacle song. I would say Stand Inside Your Love started Double Drag. That song.
And you hear it for the first time how?
I honestly don't remember.
Okay.
It was probably the Mark and Sean.
Okay.
At the time, I was going through like so many life changes, and they were such good friends to me.
Sweet.
And yeah, a real brotherhood kind of thing that we have. I'm couldn't be more appreciative of them.
Nice.
But they really opened my eyes to a bunch of stuff, and I liked Smashing Pumpkins. My mom loves Smashing Pumpkins. We went and saw them together.
Oh man, where?
At Starlight.
Okay, I love that. I love that venue.
But I realized that The Everlasting Gaze is like done around it's 2000. It's The Matrix. You watch the video for it. It's like off-putting and uncomfortable, and it's awesome. And that's like that starts this like domino effect in my mind of just being like, I want to be brave and like uncomfortable, and I want to make sounds that I don't care if anybody else likes them. I just want to do it because it's weird and fun and I like it. Now it's just for me. I don't care about.
There's a thing about this idea of the fans were disappointed or what blah blah blah. And it's like the folks that are making great records are making them for themselves.
Yeah.
And like other folks liking them is
secondary.
Yeah. I mean, it's fantastic.
It's cool
and
when
great
it happens.
and fun and dopamine and money and all this stuff. But it's not like I'm making this record in hopes that
they're still going to make those records.
Yeah.
It's in their, they can't stop thinking about it.
Yeah.
And I feel like I am that way. So like I can't help but imagine what somebody who has all of the time and money in the world to continue to create, they're just going to do it.
Yeah.
Which they should. But yeah, I'm a big fan of this record, especially because I love Gish, I love Siamese Dream, I love Melancholy, arguably better songs on those records. But I am a big believer of, I love when a band goes hi-fi.
Say more, please.
So we'll go back to Def Leppard.
Yeah.
Hysteria, huge sonic change. Like we went from 2-dimensional, and that was a sign of the times.
Pyromania was definitely lower fi.
That's what I'm saying. And they're next to each other, right? Yeah. So they released this record, and you're like, whoa, where the hell did that come from?
What are they, 3 years apart?
Yeah. You're like, what happened technologically in 3 years to change that? And that's Death Cab Transatlanticism into Plans. It's the first record they did in Pro Tools. Sonic landscape completely changed. Wow. They're no longer limited to 24 tracks. They can do whatever they want. That was this record. They went from doing, I think they worked with Butch Vig, and then this record was done by a dude who worked with Nine Inch Nails. Like it's like a completely different thing. And that was awesome.
Yeah.
Like that was inspiring.
That's cool.
And unfortunately, I can't just listen to songs on a record. I'm listening to the sounds. I'm listening to, I mean, everybody does that, but for me, I'm like, how did they make that? I'm going to find out how to do that. Yeah. Like I'm going to obsess about how they did that.
You say, unfortunately, I think that's kind of cool.
It's hard to like, I was just working with a band last week that they were like, do you listen to music? And I was like, I can't listen to music for like enjoyment in the same way. And I think that that's true for any engineer and most musicians.
What about acoustic, stripped down?
I usually don't listen to it.
But I mean, like, live.
I'd watch it.
Yeah. Something that, like, forces the stuff to be stripped away to where you go, oh, there's just people and their instruments.
I have a bad habit of imagining what I wish was there. I did it yesterday at Hillsiders. I was watching. Really? Yeah, I watched an acoustic performer. I watched 2 or 3 songs before I went and cut some background vocals on a song, and yeah, I was just watching him play, and I was like, oh man, this could be like this sonic palette, or this could sound like from this time period and have this kind of instrumentation.
Wow.
And like,
so, what is there for enjoyment then?
I think that is the enjoyment for me
right, but I mean, in the other avenues of your life.
Oh.
Like what?
Cooking.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cooking is huge.
Where, tell me about how you shop.
I tend to meal prep.
Really?
I work very weird hours, so I'm either very bare bones with my food, or I'm like, I'm going to prep something that is nutritionally dense that's going to last me several days, but whenever I need a real break, I make spaghetti.
Okay. And
it's a 10-hour, I'm making sauce. I wake up at like 8 a.m.
From fresh tomatoes?
Yeah. I mean,
fresh pasta?
My great grandmother immigrated here from Italy, and she has a recipe that's very Depression era, like canned stuff. It's what we could afford.
Yeah.
So I'll either do that in tribute to her,
mm-hmm.
or I will go like
all in.
Yep.
Including fresh pasta?
I am not a pasta maker. I would love to be.
Okay. What about bread? You make bread?
I've been making bread.
I made
a loaf of bread yesterday.
Did you really?
Yeah.
What kind?
My aunt gave me a sourdough starter, and so now I'm like pandemic era stay at homer, and I'm like, haha, look at this bread that I made. That's why I don't post to social media, because then I'm just
4
posting
million other
bread.
people
Right?
like me too.
Yeah, I'm not trying to do
Yeah,
that. But
yeah.
yeah, I'm making bread at home.
You really should have let. Shut
Yeah.
up. I didn't.
I'm like, it tastes good.
Yeah, yeah.
That's why I
Yeah.
did it.
Proteins.
Yeah, I do for lunch almost every day. In the realm of meal prep, I eat like a Greek yogurt, and I eat some cottage cheese, and that's it.
Okay.
And I save my big meal for dinner.
Okay.
And I do a lot of balancing. My dad, he has a farm, but not like a barn farm. He's a large plot of land. And he and his neighbor have been raising livestock as like a hobby.
Okay.
Just because they both have land and
Wow.
they got space to do it.
Yeah.
And so the beef and the pork, the majority of it that I eat comes from them, which is
Seriously?
cool. Yeah.
Okay.
I pay for it.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm gonna get hogs. How many? Like, do you want a side? This is how much it will cost to do it. And I'm like, yep, let's do a side.
And you use a whole pig, a whole half a pig.
Yep. I just put it in a freezer at home. And
But I mean, you know what to do with all the things.
yeah, I do a lot of like bone broths. And,
Okay.
And I'm a big fan of like super heavy, hearty stews in the winter.
Hell yeah.
And I'll put them. Yeah, we could probably talk about kitchen stuff.
Yeah.
That's why I was so curious about where you had worked and like what your experience was in the kitchen, because I love cooking.
Yeah. What? Give me your 2 or 3 favorite breakfast things to make.
Ooh, breakfast things. I got in the pandemic. Instead of getting into sourdough, I got into how to cook the perfect egg.
Okay.
In every way. So I started by just doing, I think that my favorite is just doing like a perfect over easy egg.
Okay. From there, what are you eating with it?
Nothing. Small crack of pepper on the top, pinch of salt on the yolk, maybe a piece of toast.
And that's good that's breakfast? You're
I don't eat breakfast very often.
Okay.
My girlfriend, it's her favorite food.
Okay.
So we'll do breakfast for dinner a lot.
BFD.
Yeah.
Hash browns, biscuits and gravy, toast.
I would say biscuits and gravy are my favorite thing. It's not my favorite thing to cook, but it is my favorite breakfast.
Boring and colorless.
Yeah. Blueberry pancakes would probably take a close second.
Okay. Very nice. Why did we start talking about food?
Because it's 2:30 or whatever.
No, there was a reason. Anyway, can we move on from?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't want to shortchange. My friend Matt Smith, I've said this a few times whenever Siamese Dream makes a record. We got in. I forced him to get into the Billy Corgan. And I go, what do you think about this rewriting of all the parts of the record after everybody? And he goes, sometimes this is a hard band to be a fan of. And I was like, every person I've asked about that, they're like 100%.
I don't know. I think for the most part, I mean, there are inexcusable things that people do that will change my ability to enjoy a band. But I think Billy's just super weird.
Yeah, I agree. Did you catch any of the what's his name? Howie Mandel, I think it was.
I've seen bits and pieces
with Bill Burr and Billy.
Yeah. He's just super weird. I
think that's true.
And he's had some really offhanded stuff that he said. I'm not confident that he fully feels or even means half the things that he says. I think that I would imagine somebody who writes music like this is probably, despite being a megastar, probably a pretty uncomfortable guy. That's my guess.
I agree with that. Plunder, Beg, and Curse, Color Revolt, 2008. 3 EPs, 2 full-length releases. This is the first of those 2 LPs. It's 10 tracks, 47 minutes for this indie rock, alt-rock outfit out of Oxford, Mississippi. Another podcast first for artisan album. Shortish existence and smallish digital presence. How does Plunder, Beg, and Curse land in your lap?
They, Zach, when we were playing in our high school band, got into their first EP.
Okay.
And this is another example of the first EP. Massively charming, amazing songs.
Really?
Sounded not great. I think it was recorded during Hurricane Katrina. They live in Mississippi. I think there was some stipulations for I think they had to change locations last minute, and I think that there was some. I can't say for sure, but this is a band that once Plunder, Beg, and Curse came out, I was like, oh my god, they went hi-fi. I'm hooked.
Yeah.
I could hear the hi-hat being kept time on the left foot. It was Len Clark was their drummer. I ended up buying a cymbal from him years later when I played drums for Bass Drum of Death. He came through Kansas City, and I was like, I want to buy that cymbal. Yeah, I was like a super fan. Wow. Zach and I drove overnight on multiple occasions. We lied to our parents to drive to Indianapolis to watch them open for Thursday and Taking Back Sunday at the Egyptian Room. And we were 15, 16 years old, and we were like, I'm staying at Zach's, and he's like, I'm staying at Ian's.
We're in Indiana.
Got into my Honda Civic, and
That's
thank God
great.
it was a 98 because it would run forever.
Yeah. I bet there's some good tunes on that trip in the car.
Oh yeah, but yeah, massively influential band. I think that they're a snapshot of what raw creativity feels like. The guitar work. Did you have a chance to check it out?
I did.
Okay, it's weird.
I don't.
It's very
lean heavy very often.
Yeah.
So if I know it's heavy before I hit play, or it's heavy, the first second track one, the mind,
says it's heavy.
You gotta. It's a thing you gotta corral.
Yes.
I always say, and I'm only listening to the records on people's lists once.
Sure.
And I'm quasi distracted because I'm also prepping.
That's good, as you should. I mean, that makes sense. That's a good way of consuming.
So very hypocritically, outside of my podcast life, I believe that one full listen earns you nothing.
Yeah.
It's what?
Yeah.
A second, you got the shell of an opinion.
Yeah.
A third full listen gives you the liberty to share that opinion.
Sure. So you're not there yet.
Not even close. But so what I really enjoyed was that it didn't stay heavy. No. It didn't go, this is the record we're making and it's going to be at this pulse, because that gets old to me. And so they deviate track 2. And then tracks 3 through 5, I'm like, I like this place.
Yeah.
And so much so that Moses of the South stunned me.
I got chills
just thinking about it. I did too.
Yeah.
And then the rest of I was like, okay, I don't dislike this.
Yeah.
I also, as a whole, respect the shit out of it because it's not just.
It's all live.
Okay.
Whenever we went and saw them, I was like, oh, it definitely was all live. This is an incredible band. They just performed this way. This is how they sound, effortlessly.
I mean, I did. I think I was in the car for that middle portion of the album. Mm-hmm. But I looked over at the screen, in that way that oh shoot, when I would listen to Yuck.
Yeah.
It took
very low-fi.
It took me it finished playing and the algorithm took me to something insanely familiar that everybody knows. And I was like,
how'd we get here?
That feeling of, oh, I know what happened. It just took me to another thing that it thinks is connected.
Yeah.
But weird choice.
Yeah.
When I got to the middle portion of this record, I'm like, are we still in the same?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. And, and then track 4 and then track 5, I was like, dude,
what's going on?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I thought it was super cool.
That's when Swamp gets pretty weird. But they are a band that I think I don't want to tell lore of other bands that I can't back up with evidence, but they're I think the reason that Manchester Orchestra sounds the way that they did, and there's huge polarizing views about the band Brand New, but the reason that they sounded the way that they did, I think, is largely due in part to Color Revolt, and those at the time whenever I was growing up, those were very influential bands on me. And anybody who is into, I'm not gonna call it emo because it's I don't think that it is, but if you're into like hard on your sleeve, emotionally dense rock and roll music, great example.
Cool. Yeah, it was a fun listen.
They weren't writing pop music.
No,
they weren't trying.
No, but it's like weirdly
there's hooks,
accessible.
It's still
in
hooky.
The way that pop is.
Tons of harmonies.
Okay.
Like big musicality.
Yeah, it was fun. Yuck. 2010, I think. First of 3, 12 tracks, 49 minutes. We're going 3 out of 4 so far here with podcast first for both album and artists. This indie rock outfit from London put this one out on Fat Possum Records, which is one of my favorite labels. And Light Color Revolt is out of Oxford. Fat Possum's out of Oxford.
Yeah. Color Revolt released records on Fat Possum.
Okay.
Yeah.
How does Yuck's self-titled record earn the cleanup spot on your list?
Is this the 5th record?
Fourth.
Oh yeah, I know what the 5th one is. Honestly, the whole record is really good all the way through. Getaway, that first song, that guitar hook at the beginning, I was just like, I don't know what's going on, but I needed to, like, whenever it came on the first time, I was like, I need to be right here, right now because of this. And I don't know why, but this matters. What I'm listening to matters. I was like, something can sound it doesn't sound great. It's not a great sounding record. It
doesn't sound bad.
No, but it's very that 2-dimensional. Everything is distorted. It's very tapey. But it made me feel like those big records made me feel. Those big sonic, super hi-fi records. I was like, this is beautiful and important. And like, I can't imagine what would happen if they had everything, you know?
My inner dialogue, I don't ever not make something hot for breakfast.
Spicy.
No, like something that requires,
warm,
yes. We don't ever, I mean, very, very seldom do my kids have a bowl of cereal and head out the door. Yeah. Like, just, it's not.
You've got something important.
Yes, and there's always a smoothie.
That's smart.
Smoothies are like, you know, if you're old enough to remember the Dunkin' Donuts time to make the donuts.
Oh yeah.
Commercials. I make a batch twice a week, and it's an hour.
Yeah.
But then we have 4 days worth of smoothies. For whatever reason, this morning, when I landed on what I was going to make for breakfast, I was like, I kind of want to listen to that Yuck record again. And I hit play on the Sonos in the kitchen, and I was like, I have no other explanation.
Yeah.
But
it just gets in your head.
And we listened to the whole thing all the way through.
Yeah.
We finished breakfast, and then it went to whatever it went to.
It sounds familiar.
Yeah.
But it's original, but it sounds familiar.
Yeah.
It sounds like something that's always been in the back of your head.
Yeah. Well, it was a treat also. Last but not least, 2018 Beach House 7. This is 7 of 8, 11 tracks, 47 minutes. Dream Pop out of Baltimore. Yet again, podcast first, album and artist, so we went 4 for 5, which is, I only mention because 217 of these, and new shit is still just kicking the door down. So that's always fun for me. What Beach House like arrived at some point in like the 2010 to 2020 window in my world, and it was like all of a sudden here's this outfit. It feels like they have a bunch of records already.
Yeah.
And like the sound is like, again, familiar, a little haunting. Mm-hmm. And some of it kind of says to me, hey, if you get familiar enough with this track or this record, you might cry. Like it's
important. Everything that they do feels important.
Yeah. So what's the skinny with Beach House? I know nothing about them. This is my first sit down full record
I think that there's something about Beach House, and I think this is probably true for multiple records in my particular stack. Is that, like, there's the typical favorites that are involved with Smashing Pumpkins, with Beach House. I didn't choose Depression Cherry. I didn't choose Siamese Dream. Mostly because those records are amazing. They're just not the ones that moved me. 7, they added a drummer. I'm a sucker for drums. So
you don't say.
Yeah. It was Chris Bear. I think he also co-produced the record. Okay. Chris Bear is one of the songwriters and also the drummer for the band Grizzly Bear.
Oh.
And actually, what made me listen to 7 was a B-side of 7.
Oh.
That I think is better than the album entirely.
A lone track?
A lone track.
Okay.
It may be worth writing down, but
yeah,
it's called Alien.
Okay.
It's a B-side to the album 7. But what Beach House did on this one is that they always leaned kind of melancholy. Like, there was always a twinge of happy. Whether it's like in the tones, whether it was the upbeatness of the track. 7 is dark. Through and through. It is brooding. It feels like there's something upsetting underneath. And it's not a happy cry. It's a frustrated cry. And that made me, at the time that I discovered it, it's just what I needed at the time.
Yeah.
And I listened to it over and that was a record that I played, and that was within the last 10 years. I listened to it over and over and over and over and over again. I wore it out.
Anybody in your orbit that was like, this guy with the Beach House record again?
Oh, everybody. Everybody. It was like, dude, stop trying to... We get it. Alien is cool. I'm like, it's not even just Alien. It's the rest of this whole thing. I wonder what else exists from this. Wow. Like, I was super nerded out over 7. Such an interesting departure for them, adding a drummer. They've now released a record since then, Once Twice Melody, which I think kind of went back to the melancholy, happy cry. This is just a standoff thing that in my mind, out of all of the records, is the one that stands out as like, we got weird with this one.
Yeah.
And I love that.
Wow.
I love a band that has so much commercial success, Smashing Pumpkins as well, where it's just like, we're just going to make whatever we want.
Yeah.
Or like, we're just going to throw some shit at the wall and see what happens. Because those are the minds that you're like, you're the sound of a generation of music.
That's right.
And you can do whatever you want.
You had honorable mentions.
Oh, so many.
We've talked a little bit about Plans, Death Cab for Cutie, Wave, Antonio Carlos
Jobim.
It's
a Brazilian jazz guitarist.
Okay, give me a distillation of that.
Came out in 1967. Oh. Sounds like a record that came out in 1993. It's just like 60s sexy Italian sports car driving along the countryside.
Yeah.
And it feels so good to listen to.
Oh, wow.
And anytime I need a palate cleanser, it's that record.
That's awesome.
Anytime I'm like, oh my gosh, today was so difficult, I gotta chill out, it's that.
There's a comic, I love stand-up, comic that's growing right now. Dan DeSimo, I believe is his name.
Okay.
Louis had him open for him on a recent tour, and
sure,
and saw a clip of him. Was like, that dude is funny.
Yeah,
and he is. It was one of those deals where, like, when I watch whatever I watch with Louis, hearing that, the algorithm gave me a couple doses. And I was like, this dude is funny, and then he vanished. And then just like a week ago, I got a clip on TikTok, and he goes, man, you know what I really don't like about Cybertrucks? Is what do you do with all the bitches? And he keeps feeding that bit and just, talking absolute trash.
Yeah.
On any bit. It's so freaking funny. But you said that Italian countryside car. I'm like, that's the
Cybertruck. No. But it's not.
No.
But
that is where insert guy in that vehicle in the countryside, and immediately there's a super hot lady.
Yeah.
Like just goes.
You're on vacation.
Yeah.
Or there's a helicopter exploding in the background. One or the other.
And also Diamond Eyes by Deftones.
Yeah. That was
not White Pony.
Not White Pony. Another Terry Date record. It's bigger. To me, it's bigger. You know? It could have been White Pony. It could have been the self-titled.
White Pony's made a couple or three lists, and I'm always like...
It didn't do for me what Diamond Eyes did.
Cool.
Diamond Eyes accessed a new... And I use that creativity in Double Drag constantly. Like, I don't want to be... I know that... to assume that anybody talks about Double Drag is like probably not true, but I can't imagine that somebody listens to Double Drag and doesn't say, wow, these dudes listen to Deftones.
Right.
You know what I mean? But it's not the intention, but it is the intention to like harness that feeling that I get from listening to Bright Eyes whenever I'm going to write a guitar song.
Okay.
I'm like, yeah, let's downtune. Let's do something real cool.
Yeah.
Like it's like that or Limp Bizkit. I'm like, I want to do something real weird.
Okay. Nice.
And Diamond Eyes has that. It has this like, it has really beautiful moments. It has incredibly heavy moments. And it all feels very emotional and very movemental from start to finish. It feels
movemental,
like an opera.
Yeah.
Like different acts.
I like it.
I don't feel like I'm just at peak the whole time.
Sure.
Kind of like that Third Eye Blind record.
Yeah. Great record. So great list. Thank you. I've got 5 goofy questions.
I love it.
And we'll get you on your way.
You're good. I appreciate the conversation.
You're given the opportunity to have a cup of coffee with anyone of your choosing, dead or alive.
Okay.
Who's it going to be and why?
Levon Helm.
Excellent. Why?
He's a subtle big influence on me as a drummer.
Oh, okay.
Because hot take, maybe not hot take, you know. He was the leader of the band. You know?
Are you, I mean, like, there's not, you open the door and look out, there's not like droves of the band fans, but when you find one, holy commitment.
They're like, it's Robbie, and I'm like, I don't know, man.
No, I mean, but there's not a ton of like super fan of the band. But when you find a fan, they
know everything there is to know about the band.
That's right. That's right.
And I'm not one of those people.
Okay.
I just really, really like, he's a drummer who sings. He's clearly a songwriter. I discovered the band because they were Bob Dylan's backing band.
Great era.
The only era of Bob Dylan that I personally care for.
Well, it's been nice talking to you.
I know, I'm sorry. But yeah, he would be just to pick his brain and get an idea. I adore what I feel like, what I imagine he brought to that project.
Sure.
Is I would love to know if that's true.
Very cool. If we can pretend or imagine that we all have a personal and a professional bucket list.
Okay.
You're given all the necessary resources to go knock out number 1 on both of those lists.
Okay.
What are those number 1s?
I feel like I have the necessary resources. All I ever think about professionally is just, it's the dangling carrot of perfecting my mix style. I think about it all the time. I thought about it this morning while I was at work mixing. And I think it all has to do with the tracking. But I think if I had all the necessary resources and all the time and all the money in the world, it would just be to put out a record that sounds as good as the one that I'm hearing in my head. And I don't know how to do it. There's learning. There's so much learning that has to happen, and every record is a trial and error. So
it's crazy, man. Like,
so maybe that's unattainable because every record is the best sounding record that you make until, you know.
But I mean, like, the amount of people that really started crushing in their life authors, obviously athletes and sports is a different world. But I mean, artists, I mean, paint, like, it's like, you really are hitting your stride when you're sunsetting, and then 120 years go by, and then all of a sudden everybody's like,
what was this?
look at this guy. You
Yeah.
know, it can't all happen, right?
I feel like television is a bigger band now than they were when they were, like, Marquee Moon is a bigger record now than it was whenever television was playing it. I don't know if you ever listened to that record.
No.
Did you get into Pavement at all?
No.
So there are...
Pavement did have a tune, and I think a Pavement tune got the nod for the intro of one of the NHL PlayStation
That makes
games.
sense.
Yeah.
So anyway, it was a band that recorded some records in the 70s that sounded like records in the 90s.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
But
So that's your professional.
that's my professional. Bucket. I'm kind of a boring guy in this respect, but I would love to travel abroad.
You get to leave tomorrow. What's your first stop?
Sicily.
You're going to get in that car and ride the countryside,
Yeah.
aren't you?
No, I would have to while I was there, but yeah, I think that the Italian family that I have here, they immigrated from Naples, and I think part of that family line originated in Sicily.
Okay.
And I just think that trip, that kind of genealogy trip, and like kind of getting familiar with getting the stories that we talk about, but maybe they're not the real stories, and like actually knowing some of that heritage would be
So
really
let's
cool.
say you all of a sudden 7 years have gone by, and you're going to Italy once, maybe twice a year, and you're spending some time over there.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden one day you realize that itch has been scratched. What's your next destination?
Probably Norway.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Uh,
Check it out.
I love the cold.
Okay,
Also.
I do too.
Big fan. It'd be cool to.
This is what's happening out
This
there.
is brutal.
Fuck.
It sucks.
End it
all the way.
Yeah. Okay. This is not. We're not interested in changing who Ian Dobyns became. This is not a thing that's cloaked in regret. But you're given the ability to visit your past self.
Sure.
At any age of your choosing. What age are you choosing, and what are you saying?
Middle school.
Okay.
Scratch that. Beginning of high school.
Okay.
Same age range.
Yeah.
Don't change anything. You're still gonna do it.
I love it.
Like, I was a delinquent, like just a nightmare person
I'm sorry?
for my
What?
parents. I was just a delinquent.
Getting in
guy.
trouble?
Oh yeah, which is fine, but like
You don't.
I was
you
just getting.
look the part.
Well, I'm not doing it now. But I spent a lot of time just breaking any rule, figuring out how to get around a rule, you know? And it made for a harder time. But I think I think about this pretty often, especially after all of the stuff happened with Joel, and I'm doing the stuff at Element now. If my high school self saw me now, I don't have as many records as maybe I wish that I would have done in a personal way, like with the bands and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That version of me would be so stoked.
Wow.
I think and I have never deviated. I've been trying to do this exactly what I'm doing. I've been trying to do since I was like 12. So like, just keep on keeping on,
Cool.
kind of thing.
I love
you
it.
know, like you're on the right track even when it doesn't feel like you are.
Yeah.
Just keep going with it.
Good stuff. You're aware that at one point in time there was a television program called Fear Factor.
Oh yeah.
You win the challenge by tolerating.
Wasn't Joe Rogan
It was.
the host of that?
Yeah, you win by tolerating the gross whatever. This is not that. This is real life. You got to get from point A to point B. Right in the middle though. is-
Greatest fear.
Yeah. Or anxiety or creeps, whatever. But you got to get past it.
Yeah.
What is it?
Snakes.
Is it?
It's snakes.
Okay.
Honestly, it's snakes. I don't like reptiles. I really don't like reptiles or amphibians.
Okay, I was gonna say, what about
they're hand in hand and they're fast, and that's the unpredictability of that is the fear.
Where's this coming from?
No idea.
Okay.
And I don't know where they're coming from or where they're going, and that's the problem. The unpredictability of it is not for me.
Yeah.
I'm like,
You would never have a pet turtle and feed it lettuce.
turtles don't bother me.
Okay.
I've saved turtles.
Yeah.
I'm happy to save a turtle.
There you go.
I worked at restaurants. I was involved in the straw debacle. You know?
Yeah. Last but not least, please complete this for me. The world would immediately become a better place in which to live, if only.
I'll get put on a list for saying it.
Does it have to do with a certain city on the East Coast?
Yeah.
Okay, and maybe somebody that lives there?
Yeah.
Okay. We're opening the paper every morning looking for the O word, the O bit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I recently curbed my drinking back in October of last year.
Okay.
There will be
Imbibing.
I don't want to believe in celebrating or speaking ill of the dead, but
right. Here's the problem, man.
And it's okay. I trust that we're always kind of speaking in a good space.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Like that guy. Holy cow! Give me a full Saturday and a Sunday to kind of scratch that surface.
Yeah.
But it's the element of the existence illuminating the gross that's been living
It's all of it.
amongst us for all these years, and when that's gone, this isn't gonna be.
There's a cleanup. There's a cultural like, I don't mean cleansing in like a bad like death way,
right.
But like we gotta come to a middle ground. Like we gotta figure it out.
It feels
it's like, where did
too
that come
far
from?
gone.
Yeah,
It feels lost.
It's terrifying. So
we're all Tom Hanks on the remnants of the raft and Castaway, and Wilson is just
Wilson's
gone.
Off. Yeah,
and it's just.
And it's not romanticizing stuff that are like, situations that we were in previously. It's more just like, why'd we got to wake all that up? How was that even still here? That goes against everything that I learned about as a kid up through adulthood.
Yeah.
So that's the world would be a better place if maybe not dead, but gone.
Yeah. So Atlantis Morrissey back in the Instagram lane, Double Drag, they're theirs, Element Recording, Squish Audio, Indie Drummer Collective, other plugs.
I play, we didn't talk about it too much, but I do play in Lavish. Lavish is a band.
Okay. I thought you were just celebrating them with that post.
No.
Car.
I played. That's a really fun passion project that I feel like is worth noting. I play drums in that. It's Zach, who I played in my high school band. That was called The Author and the Illustrator. We kind of rejoined to do this record with our friend Mike from. He was in a heavy band called Bummer.
Okay.
And we just decided to write we're just writing heavy stuff.
Cool.
Just because
there's no digital place where Lavish stuff lives.
Yeah, we've got 2 singles out, and we did track a record last year that we will, because of its nature as a passion project, we're just slowly trudging through it.
Okay. Tracked is synonymous with recorded?
Synonymous with recorded. It's not done.
Okay.
So it's we did
post.
We did the live tracks. So we played in a room together for 10 songs.
Okay.
We haven't done. Excuse me.
Bless you.
Thank you. We haven't done the overdubs, which we talked about at the beginning of the session. We're in the overdubs.
Post production.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. No mixing
or just production. No, because
we're still tracking.
Okay.
Pre-production, tracking, overdubs, mixing, mastering, pressing.
Wow. I want to get you out of here, but one last thing.
Yeah.
The difference for simple brain folks out there like myself, between mixing and mastering is what?
I always tell people, artists that come in, mixing is within the song.
Adjusting.
Mastering is the songs overall.
So if you have 10 tracks and you feel really good about the way that you've mixed all of them,
Mm-hmm.
now you're going to master them.
You get them mastered.
But you already feel really good about them. What's changing?
I feel really good about these two songs. Maybe they were recorded at different times. My ears were doing different things that day. A mastering engineer goes and they say, these all need to sound like one complete work.
Okay, thank you. I'm with you now. I'm gonna master tomorrow. No.
There you go. You got it.
Ian Dobyns, super fun. Anything you had hoped that we would cover that we did not?
No, this has been a really great conversation.
I appreciate it.
I really appreciate meeting you. And
I appreciate you being here. The thing doesn't continue to live if I don't have a butt in that chair. So
yeah,
appreciate you being here and hope to talk to you soon.
yeah.